Hi, I'm Courtney Thompson, the Innovative Learning Coach at Echo Lake Elementary School.
Hi, I'm Camilla Jones. I'm one of the school counselors at Echo Lake Elementary.
And this is Miss Woodard's 5th grade class that we're working with today.
Hello.
All right. Good morning. On your tables, what we have is an activity called hexagonal thinking. Have you ever heard of that before?
No,
Somewhat. I think that Miss Woodard had maybe mentioned she was thinking about doing it, so I wasn't sure if she's used it yet. Here's how this activity works. It's a bit of a warm-up, an engagement for our brains. On your hexagons, how many sides does a hexagon have?
6.
6. On 5 of the sides of your hexagon, you're going to see words. These words are either careers or they are some of our HLP skills. Do you remember the HLP skills?
Yeah.
Who can name one HLP skill? Isan.
Collaboration.
Collaboration. What's another one, Riley? Character. Communication. Oh, we know these. Critical thinking. Leon, was that yours? Yeah. Okay, that's okay. Ojas? Creative thinking. I think we're missing one more. William? Citizenship. And we have talked about before that careers we want to have as we grow up take certain skills. So we need to match the skills that we think belong to a certain career with it by doing this. You're going to place the hexagons out on your table, and you're working as a group on this. And you match up the different sides, so you end up with sort of a cool picture. So if I look what I've got here, I can see that this one says author. What's one HLP skill an author might need to work on? Ojas. It'd probably be good to be a really good creative thinking. So I'm going to look for another hexagon that has creative thinking and then match up those two sides. But I've still got all these other sides that need to be matched up with something. How about a baker? What might a baker need to be good at?
You might need critical thinking because sometimes there might be an issue with the recipe.
I agree. I think that's a great one. So I'm going to match critical thinking up with baker. Now you might find that you've run out of either careers or out of our HLP skills. In that case, what you could do is you could try to match up 2 careers that would use a similar skill. Can anyone think of 2 different careers that would both use communication? Dylan.
Content creator and baker.
Those are perfect. You've got to be a really good communicator if you're creating content. And then if you're a baker, you need to be a good communicator too, because you need to let your customers know how much does it cost, what's in it, how did I make it? Yes?
A bank teller and personal trainer.
Yeah, those are also 2 that need communication. So if you run out, try to match up careers that use the same skills. And I also intentionally left a side blank on each hexagon. That way you could just sort of make that as a free space. That's your choice. What does it need to match up with? Yes.
A nurse also needs communication to talk to the patient.
That's true. Last one, David.
For creative thinking, an author and an artist both need it.
Ooh, you're right. There's lots of different careers that use these same 6 skills. So that's what Miss Jones and I want to see. How are you going to match it up? You're using your critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and probably some creative thinking right now to do this. So your shape is going to end up looking different from every other table. All right, go ahead and get started on that.
Chef. So chef is critical thinking. So it's critical thinking. But yeah, where's critical thinking? There's so we can do this one. And then citizenship, marketing managers, communication.
Because like you have to
Content creator needs
collaboration for firefighters.
Salesperson needs communication.
maybe like
A police officer
a training agent.
needs communication. Communication.
Would he be what?
Every doctor needs a communication.
Yeah, definitely. He communicates to the patients. He communicates to other doctors. I mean, he might need advice on how to do a certain surgery.
What's a graphic designer?
So they work on their computer and they create graphic designs. Like, you know, sometimes like the ads and things like that. They do it digitally.
Yeah, I think you're right. You could pick maybe character for that one too. How about, why did you pick creative thinking for chef?
Because a chef needs to ways to
Yeah.
explore with cooking.
Yeah.
To figure out new recipes.
Exactly right. They are very innovative. Nice job, girls.
Well, a salesperson would probably need to use communication with his thing.
Yeah, because they would have to be persuasive. So,
Exactly. If you're not persuasive, nobody's going to buy you. So what we want to do now, guys?
I don't know.
Yeah. I might do.
Yeah,
I think
great.
communication will go with police officer.
I agree. Tell me why you put that.
I think that it would be like that because
Bless you.
I think it would be like that because the police officer, they can't some I don't know, they have to communicate well with maybe people they pull over, because if not, it could lead to something. It could lead to a situation.
Ethan, that's such a great point. I hadn't even thought about that. I was thinking more they needed to communicate well when they were writing up a ticket or something, but I think you're exactly right. When they first pull someone over, they need to be a good communicator so that way the situation does not escalate. That's a really good point.
We have salesperson. Personal trainer, communication.
I heard a lot of good thoughts. I think you did a really nice job of connecting skills with careers in ways that I hadn't even thought of. I want 2 volunteers. Who wants to tell us one career and one skill that you connected? Leon. And why did you pick that? Yeah, absolutely. That's a great one. And William, tell us one more.
a teacher needs critical thinking
Why does a teacher need critical thinking?
because they have to plan for their students so they don't run wild in the classroom and different things.
I think Ms. Jones and I would probably agree that teachers use a lot of critical thinking all day long. We're constantly solving problems before they even happen, or we are fixing things that have happened, and that's a lot of critical thinking. David?
A salesperson would need communication
Definitely. Why?
because they need to persuade people to buy their product.
Yes.
If they don't persuade them, they're not going to buy them.
I agree. I think communication is probably the best one for a salesperson. Okay, last one. Oh, Joss, and then we're going to move on.
So I matched video game developer with creative thinking
Why'd you do that?
because if a video game developer wasn't creative, then all their games would just be boring and wouldn't be any fun.
That's true. Can a video game developer, we talked about this with an author at this table, can they create something that's already been done and plan to be successful with it? No, they need to have a really good imagination, which is where that creative thinking comes in. Nice job, 5th grade. All right, here's what we're going to move on to next before we go outside for our walk. In the counseling course on Schoology, all the way at the bottom, there's this link called HLP Career Connections. And this will link you to Canva. You're going to need to make a copy. Remember, we do file and then make a copy because you're just on view only. Here's what you're doing. You're thinking about a career you have in mind. We chatted about this a little bit yesterday. Something that interests you. It doesn't have to be what you're definitely going to be when you grow up, but something that interests you right now. Type it in this box. Then down here, remember, we're dragging the 2 HLP skills we think are the most important for that career. Drag them into the boxes. And then on the second page, you are finding pictures or video clips that match those skills in action in that career. So if you want to be a teacher and you think you need to have good character and good critical thinking skills, would you show a picture or a video of communication? No, the communication is definitely important as a teacher, but we're sticking with the 2 skills that you picked in the top. Yes?
Can you make a copy and do more than one career?
Oh, that's a great idea. Yes, if you have finished this one, definitely make a copy and do another one. I would love to see all your different ideas. That's a great idea. Adriana, do you have a question?
There's 3 boxes, but then only 2.
Oh, good question. Why do you think maybe there's 3 boxes, but you only picked 2 skills? Why might I have set it up that way? Yes.
You might be able to do one video for one skill, one video for the other skill, and then maybe have a hybrid video with both skills?
I think that's a good idea. When I made it, I just had in mind that there were so many different pictures and videos out there that it might be hard for you to narrow it down to just 2, so I figured you could pick the top 3 that you liked. Okay, we are going to work on this for 10 minutes, and then we're going to move into our walk-in podcast outside. Go ahead and open up to Schoology counseling course. The link is all the way at the bottom. It is called HLP Career Connections.
Go to Schoology first. Link in Schoology. Then do File, make copy. You can edit your fonts and colors. This is for you to customize and make it what you want. I'm going to put the icons up here for you to look at. You don't remember which one is which.
I saw a lot of really cool career ideas. I hope that those are things you all really move into in your lifetime. You'll have to come back and let us know. Or maybe we'll see some of you on TV being a meteorologist, or maybe in a science journal being a marine biologist. Really cool ideas. What we're going to do next is what we talked about yesterday. We're going to move into the walking classroom. These are the walking classroom kits that I was describing to you yesterday. And embedded in each of these are 200 podcasts. What's a podcast? Adriana, what's a podcast? Yeah, it's people talking. It's similar to an audiobook. It's just not a story. It's informational. What's the difference between a podcast and, say, for example, a YouTube video? Riley, what's the difference?
A YouTube video has like other things going on, but a podcast is just a bunch of people talking about one.
A podcast, there's nothing to see. So on these screens, there's a little screen on the kit, but there's not actually going to be anything there except numbers. It's going to tell you what number podcast you're on and how much time is left. The podcast we're listening to today is really interesting. It's about turning a hobby into a career. What's a hobby? What does that mean, Paul? Yeah, something you enjoy. Don't you want to take something you enjoy and make money from it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I do. So this podcast is really cool because it's all about how we can take those things we really like doing and turn them not just to our job, but our career into a life that you really love. All right, go ahead and plug your headphones in. As we are walking out the door up front to the bus loop, we will press play.
All right, Paul, go ahead now. You can turn your kit on.
All right, go ahead, start walking. We're just going around and around the bus loop. You'll probably get about 4 laps in, maybe less if we need to go in.
Give it a second. I'll start up. You good? Okay. All right, start walking loops, guys. I'm going to follow behind you.
Hi, boys and girls. So did you have a good time walking and just learning about the different careers and how you can turn a hobby into a career? Yeah. What was something really interesting that you thought that stood out to you?
They said that when you walk during the podcast, you can actually learn more because you're getting exercise and you can get more into your head.
Right. So while your body's moving, you can even soak in all of that information, right? Yeah. What else? What was really interesting about the podcast? Yeah, Maggie.
They said that Bill Gates created a computer program when he was 13.
Oh yeah, so you learned some facts about different famous Americans. Did anybody else learn any good facts?
What I think is interesting about that Bill Gates comment is that you guys are almost 13. You're 10 and 11 right now, maybe even almost 12. So he was not much older than you are, and he turned something that he liked to do into this multi-billion-dollar company. Does everybody know who Bill Gates is? Yeah. Who is Bill Gates? Yes, he created Microsoft, and think about how big Microsoft is now. Thank you for joining our class today. We hope you enjoyed it.
Go Dolphins!